What's happening, y'all? So I'm increasing the frequency of my videos because they have increased the frequency of their opposition to what I'm doing. At least according to the last evidence that I had from Friday, where Officer White, and I documented this, Officer White came out and ticketed my stash spot for abandoned property and gave me 72 hours to remove it. And of course, he didn't timestamp it on Friday, so who knows if that's 72 hours from like 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m. I got there at about 4:45, so let me get some water here real quick. But I've been in town all day, trying to get my energy back up. I've been really tired. I didn't sleep well last night. A lot on my mind. You see the effort on the face of getting back to camp with that backpack, which is loaded with gear and food. Oh, that's at least 25 pounds. And then my hip pack, which is probably 5 more. And the bike loaded with a grocery bag on the front. But I came back and I got my stuff all set up like I'm just about to have breakfast. Could use an leave. I like this ashwagandha morning kick stuff. This has probiotics, power greens, ashwagandha, etc. And since it's been in the shade since Saturday, it's still good. It's good. Right into the bloodstream. Hydration. I always wondered why, Tour de France athletes and Ironman athletes and sponsored athletes, endurance athletes like Lance and Jan Frodeno and all these people that have like a whole routine of like, if you ever watch like an Ironman athlete's training day, like Jan Frodeno, there's a popular video on YouTube where he's like 15 hours a day in training. I mean, he's got to eat 8,000 calories a day, and he's always at the cafe and the bistro, and I'm like, damn, dude, that's $100 a day in food and supplements at least. And how do you do it? How do you do it? What do we got here? What are these? I didn't see those before. Noxious weeds. Okay, noxious. I don't know what that means exactly. I might know what the word noxious means, but which weeds are noxious? It's so human of us to like, we don't want these, we want those. Criminal stupidity in this culture, in this time. However, what I'm going to document, this might take a minute. So join me on this journey. I mean, at some point in the future, I'll turn a lot of these videos into shorts. I'm just creating material to, increase my catalog and pad my runtime, and with the ultimate goal of getting to monetization, which the rate I'm going will probably take a year or two. Okay, the raccoons, or what, the critters, the squirrels, chipmunks, whatever, got into the trash spot. Judging by the size of the teeth marks, something fairly sizable. But I'll put it back. I'll put the lid on this time and put a rock on the lid. How about that? Someone left this cooler. I've been picking up trash all week. Oh, they actually ate into the cooler. From my extreme close up there. Oh yeah. Hayabusa. Let's put a rock on that. Dry ice. Please read. Okay. Well, that lid doesn't. There we go. Okay, so I'll leave that there. But they seem pretty motivated to get into that. It's just old trash. I'm always amazed at the persistence of the critters to dig into trash. Let's see what's left of Camp Solomon. I don't think I've named this camp yet. This is Camp Getaway or Camp Temporary or something. But here we are. Forest Service Road 24 and 20. Still filming, 4.5 minutes, good. Document a few things. I'm just going to ramble on while I'm walking. I'm going to try to walk in the pine dust so it's not so loud, because the gravel is loud on the feet. This morning I took a video. Oh, here we go. This is what we need out in the woods. Perfect. That's what we want. That's what we want. I'll pick those up later. That's what we want. Junkies. So the young lady, I've run into this young lady like 5 times in the last 3 days in town. First at this show at Rich Bar, and then at church the next morning. Just ran into her at the library. They were having a public health training day in the conference room, and chatted for a minute, and she says she does harm reduction. That's harm reduction, like free needles and stuff. She said, oh yeah, well, it's my job to make sure people use less or get sober and make sure that they're using safely if they're going to use. Oh, so that would be the product of her work. I'm not making fun of her. I'm not actually really not making fun of her. It's valuable. It's compassionate and it's appropriate to, you know, help people clean up their life and clean up their addictions and live a good life and do it safely and stay alive while they're in the middle of their addiction. There's been a lot of I'm not going to comment on that right now. I just noticed. I just running commentary because I'm here and I notice things, and I'm walking from my getaway camp to Camp Solomon, back to my stash to investigate what the progress is, what the status is. It's early afternoon. It's about 1:25 p.m. The ride back here took about 35 minutes. I'm getting stronger. I am getting actually noticeably stronger. My quads are coming back. That bike is all quads, so it's actually good for my physique. With that really relaxed seat angle, it's difficult, but I've been learning how to use it. I could use a lower gear. Just now I was climbing this last little bit, and I was doing fine. Spinning like 85 RPM in a 42 by 34 gear. But when I got a little steeper, I'm like, when I get under 80 RPM sitting down, and I can't stand up because I got a grocery bag on the handlebars, and it's not the right geometry to stand up anyways, so you're kind of dead in the water. So I'd like a 1-to-1 gear on that bike, 42. So I might just turn that into, get a 9-speed rear wheel like I had on the stump jumper, exactly like I had on the stump jumper. I had micro shift 1x9 with a 11 to 42 in the back and a 42 up front. So 42. No, I think on the stump jumper I had a 36, something like that. No, it was a rock hopper. Details. Here's the bridge over Slate Creek. We're almost at 8 minutes, so I documented. I really am trying to keep the camera still. I don't have a gimbal. I don't have all those fancy things. It's just me out here, and I'm on a very shoestring budget. This phone cost me $50. So, but it's a good phone for $50. Good stereo. It's got 2 speakers, 128 gigs internal memory. Again, this is a bit of verbal diarrhea to fill the space and fill the time. Beautiful first day of fall, and it is gorgeous. It was cold this morning though, 37 degrees out on Chandler Road, and the fog was heavy, and I waited till about 8:30 to ride to town. It warmed up a little bit, but here we are, 9M38, and the first evidence of trash that was left. Definitely on Friday afternoon. Okay, my suspicion is that Officer White saw this pile of trash and on his way in or out or whatever, we had to see, you can't miss on the way in, that I'm about to show you, and conflated that with me, confused that with my handiwork. It's exactly the opposite. And someone came out here, as I showed in a previous video. I'm not out of breath just because we're at altitude, and I just put in an hour of riding already today, plus walking around town all day. I just, I don't rely on vehicles. I mean, I would use the car if I had it running, but I like that. Okay, he moved the tree back, so that would suggest someone's been here, if not Officer White. somebody. They might even be here right now. Who knows? But I did see like 5 or 6 different fire PNF, Plumas National Forest trucks coming out here hauling ass when I was riding out here. So maybe they were coming here to come harass me. But this is the bullshit that I tried to show, or I did show last week. This happened Friday. What the fuck? It's all like kindergarten, kindergarten like homework and like there's pasta, a box of pasta. It's just household trash. I see a Starbucks thing. I see a chair. What the fuck? Let me get a better. Okay, let me zoom in on that because I am not a fan. Someone's kid. A lot of this is like kids' artwork, stuff you put on the fridge. Combs full of hair. You could do a DNA test if you really want to get serious about all this. That's that would be, in my estimation, that would be why a Forest Service law enforcement officer exists, to enforce shit like that. Now, if that's been conflated with my work or the way I operate, and if I'm going to be accused of doing that, then, well, no wonder he's after me. But here, you'll see here in a second the evidence of my work and my presence and my approach out here, the way I do things. Coming on in. This is the turn into camp. Try to keep it as still as possible. There's the stumps I was working on. 2 weeks ago I did a video of me chopping that log right there with an axe. So, see this? At 12:12. Coming in, nice and quiet. These flags were here. I think Debbie brought those out, actually. But I started putting them where I would dig a latrine. I got my... Okay, that's been moved. The here's your sign thing's been moved. No one's touched any of the firewood. These are my staves. Again, I'm impressed with with how dedicated the critters are to getting into trash. I had that tin can loaded with the very, very last of the trash, and they got into it again. So, all right. So this might be a longer video. We're at 13 minutes now. I'm gonna walk up with my stick. My bucket's still there. I'm gonna leave that there. It's just part of the forest now. It doesn't hurt anything. That's a way to get water. Basically, the remnants of a functional camp are there and tidy and ready for use, ready for enjoyment from somebody else. And what I need, if you're watching this, I need people to come up here and we can rotate through all the 2 weeks at a time. You know, you can camp for 2 weeks there, and then I'll come and camp for 2 weeks there, and then we'll switch and go back and move along. And as my friend suggests, just make 6 or 7 different camps. You know, gather a lot of tents from the community, set them all up. You know, post up in a bunch of spots. There's a good spot up top of the hill. There's a good spot here with the fire pit and plenty of firewood. There's so 14 minutes. All right, we're still going up towards my stash. And I will, like an ant, go to the ant, thou sluggard, as Solomon would say. Consider his ways. He has neither overseer or lord, yet he stores up his food for winter. You know, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a vagabond and want like an armed man. That's the words of Solomon. We do need sleep, we do need rest. It's good to recharge your system. I didn't quite get fully recharged last night. I was at Robertson. I was just having a hard time sleeping. I think I finally fell asleep around 2 and woke up again around 6. So, and again, tried to go back to sleep after. I'm just going through a lot. So, I mean, I am used to it. I am used to it. It does get old. It actually gets really, really, really old. Now, okay, so you've got about 15 seconds to see how far they're willing to take this whole battle, because I brought 2 carloads of my gear up here, and my work, my staves, and my labor, my livelihood, my means of support, and how I get by in this world on my own terms without a job. I make hiking sticks, that's one thing. I survive rent-free with the gear that enables me to do so. So we're still not there. I'm up on 16 minutes. It's a longer walk than I had anticipated. That's at least half a mile walk. And we're at 4,000 feet, so a little bit out of breath. Let us see. Let us turn up and pee. What are they? Okay. Well, my main concern was that they had stolen everything, which they have proven in the past, in my experience, in my life. Authorities are willing and able and will do that if they get a big enough stick up their ass. But they have not stolen anything quite yet. And the evidence suggests they haven't been back here yet. So that's a minor victory, minor victory. And now that I'm here at camp, I spent 2 days in town. I left Saturday morning, and I've been in town since then. Stayed at Robert's 2 nights, which technically, according to their own rules, should be sufficient to satisfy their, demands of you have to leave every 2 weeks. Well, I spent 2 days in town. I have a friend who put me up, and I'm back. And that should qualify as enough of a break so I can come back and reset the clock on the 2 weeks of me being out here. So I'm trying to think for them or think like them. And that's actually, it hurts my brain to try to think like them. It hurts my spirit, hurts my soul to try and put myself in their shoes. But okay, take a look. That's 2 carloads worth of gear. Zoom in. 2 carloads worth of gear. Is this really bothering anybody? I mean, it would if I left it all winter. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. These are the things I need to survive out here. These items are carefully selected and curated and chosen for my lifestyle to keep me alive. The Samsonite rollaway, really nice. That black diamond duffel bag, really nice. Got the shovel I paid $13 for at Rite Aid. That's before they closed. That's nice. I got, there's the ticket. I got towels. I got backpacks. I got recycling. There's actually like $6 recycling in that bag, green bag. There's my Mr. Buddy heater that kept me alive in Idaho. There's my guitar. Can't seem to get the Mr. Buddy working. But there I have now, here on September 22nd. I feel like a troll sitting on my treasure. I've documented adequately my current struggle. It's a struggle. I know there are other people alive that are going through worse, a lot worse. And this isn't actually that bad. It's just an annoyance and a nuisance and a fucking aggravation. Pardon my French. Please pardon my French. Again, one of the last things I'm working on is cleaning up my speech. But I'll take the rollaway. That's a start. I'll take that back to my new spot. And I'll leave the rest. The day is young. The day is mine. The day is young. Without a car, that's a lot of trips. I'm going to look over here real quick. With that mound over there. If I put it up stuff over that hill right there, they're not going to see it. And I have 2 camouflage tarps available now. I'm in good hands. I'm doing well. Minor victory. Minor victory. We do like minor victories. And we do like being left alone. Tyranny is irritating. No taxation without representation. I am not represented at all by this current old system. I'm an armed delegate of the law for the forest, not even sheriff. They operate independently of the sheriff, I found out over the weekend from my dad. I'm an armed delegate of the law and come out and force you to move your property, vacate the premises, can't have a fire, can't cook, can't be comfortable, can't make it look like a living room, can't. I prefer cans. I like can dancers. Are you pig will or pig won't? Well, Mr. White, Officer White, Inspector Gadget, you are pig won't. And I can't stand you. Hate's a strong word. Hate is a strong word. It's a strong emotion. I said it before. You're more like a hemorrhoid, or like a zit on my neck, or like a earache, or like a cavity. You're like you're like gum in my shoe. You're just a fucking nuisance. And I do actually, I'm not gonna say the word hate, but I hate that you exist. That your job is, you have the authority and I don't. I hate that. Let me just say I hate the situation. Love the sinner, hate the sin. I hate the sin. The sin is I desire mercy, not sacrifice, and I desire righteousness and not the appearance of righteousness. You fucking Pharisee. Sick of your bullshit, dude. So leave me the fuck alone. God bless America. Over and out.